Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to day 12 of Distant Learning. Today, Mrs. Dimitos is going to be doing the health lesson that your teacher posted on Class Dojo this morning. So you may have noticed the story posted onto your Class Dojo. So Ms. Dimitos is going to go over what the story is all about. So before we begin, we're going to read our I can statement. I can understand social distancing while practicing different ways to stay healthy. Before we begin reading the story, Mrs. Dimitos wants to go over some vocabulary words that you might see in the story that may be a little bit difficult for you to understand. So I'm going to go over the words so that you understand what they mean. So one of the words is social distancing. Social distancing is when you stay away from other people. You're also going to see the word symptoms. And symptoms is basically just the way that you feel. It's just a feature. It's something that shows how you're feeling. So if sometimes when you have a cold, one of your symptoms might be that you're sneezing or that you have a runny nose. And the last vocabulary word that you're going to see in the story is called coronavirus. And coronavirus is basically just the name of a virus. So another example would be something like the flu. If you have the flu, the name of the virus is called the flu, and the name of the one we're talking about today is coronavirus. And you might have heard of that a lot on TV, or maybe your parents have been talking about it. So we're going to talk a little bit more about it in the story. So before we get ready to read, I want you to get in your reading spots, put on your listening ears, and put on your superstar readers. And I want you to get ready to read with Mrs. Dimitos. So the name of the story is called Understanding Social Distancing. What is social distancing? Social distancing is staying away from others, especially groups of people. This helps to lower the chances of spreading a virus like the coronavirus to others. And there's that word, coronavirus. It's just the name of a virus. Why do we need to have social distancing? We need to have social distancing because we don't always feel symptoms when we are sick with a virus. And there's that word symptoms. It's just the way you feel. Sometimes we don't even know we have it. Social distancing is the best and the most effective thing we can do to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. It is everyone's responsibility to help by staying away from others as much as possible. And how do we do social distancing? To do social distancing, we need to limit the time and place we are with other people. So you can't be around people or too many people and be in one same place at one time. We also need to limit how close we get to other people, especially people outside of our own family. So they're talking about how close you are to someone. It is best to stay about 6 feet away from people who are not in your family. This means no play dates for a while, and we don't even get to go to school. This means not going to many of the places that we are used to going to for a while. This means not going to public places like restaurants, libraries, the movies, or even bowling for a while. So any of those fun things that we used to do, we really can't do those fun things. Everything is pretty much closed right now. It may even mean that school is closed for a while. And now we're going on to day 12 of distant learning. So you can see that even our school has been closed for a while. Some places will stay open. Hospitals, grocery stores, and some businesses will stay open because we really, really need them. So you might see some of the stores near your house might be open, and that's just because those are places that we really need. What can we do while social distancing? So what can you do? This is a good time to take a nap, watch TV, maybe read a book, exercise, or play games like video games, word searches, I Spy, puzzles, cook. Maybe you want to cook with your parents, organize, or build things. So these are different things you can do. And now there's more that you can do, boys and girls. It's not just these things. And reading a book was one of the ones that I liked a lot because I've been doing my best to read a book every day. If parents say it's okay, we can play outside. If we play outside, we need to stay off of the playground equipment because the virus could be spread on the equipment. So maybe you didn't know you had the virus, like they talked about in the beginning of the story, where it says you don't know that you have these symptoms and you don't know that you're sick, and you were playing on the park equipment. right there, the virus could be spread onto that equipment, and now someone that went onto that slide can also get sick. And that's why it's important to stay off of the playground equipment. And if we do play outside, we need to stay about 6 feet away from others who are not in our family. If we play outside, we do lots of fun things like kick a soccer ball back and forth, go for a walk, ride a bike, play with our dog, or even fly a kite. And Miss Dimitos has been doing those walks every day, and she's been taking her dog for a walk every day just to go out and get fresh air. But I always make sure that I'm 6 feet away from other people. And if we do our part, we will help to stop the spread of the coronavirus and be back to our regular routine even faster. So understanding social distancing helps everyone stay healthy. And that's the reason why we wanted you to understand what social distancing is all about, because we want you to know that if you can practice social distancing, it's going to help us get that virus gone, and we can finally go back to our normal routine and go back to school, and then we can see each other, we can see our friends, we can go to public places. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what we learned in the story. What did we understand about social distancing from reading the story? We talked about what it means. So we know that social distancing is when you have to stay away from others. We talked about why we need social distancing and how it's a virus that can spread and then other people can get sick. And you might even notice that you might hear on the news, or maybe your parents are telling you about people that when they do get sick, they have to stay in self-isolation where they have to stay away from you so that they don't spread the virus to you. So that's the reason why we need to practice it. How do we practice it? So we talked about how you need to stay 6 feet apart from your friends, and I'm going to show you what 6 feet apart is. So if I was outside trying to take my dog for a walk, or maybe taking just going out for a walk, or maybe kicking a ball back and forth, I have to be 6 feet away from anyone that's outside. So I would have to be, and here is Miss Dimitos, right? And here is her friend Mickey. Mickey's all the way over here. And Mickey is 6 feet away from Mrs. Dimitos. That is how far you need to be from people when you are outside, maybe taking a walk. Or even if you go to the grocery store, you need to try to stay away from people. And you might see people in the grocery store wearing something that looks like this. It's just a mask that they put over their mouth. And basically, they're just putting that over their mouth so that they don't spread the virus. Because one of the things we don't want to do is spread the virus to anyone else. And that's why we're practicing the social distancing. Now, for the best part, it says, what can you do while social distancing? So I gave you some examples about watching TV, taking naps, reading books, exercising. Maybe you want to exercise with your mom or your dad. Maybe one of the good things that I think might be a good suggestion for you guys to do is create flashcards with all the sight words that we've learned all school year. And then you could just practice your sight words. Maybe play a card game with your sight words. Or maybe when you want to take a break from schoolwork, maybe you want to play a card game with your family, card game of Uno. Or maybe you like to color and you want to, do a coloring page. Or I even mentioned about building things like building Legos. So one of the things I want you to do today, after you finish with Miss Dimitos and reading the story, is I want you to post a picture to your teacher of something that you're doing to practice social distancing. So one of those things that Miss Dimitos just gave you as an example, or maybe there's something else that you're doing with your family that's really fun that you want to share with us, give us an example. Send us a picture of how you are practicing social distancing. Okay? So remember, boys and girls, this is just something that we all need to understand so that we can stop the spread of this coronavirus and get to school very soon so we can see each other. Okay? Have a good afternoon, boys and girls.